Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Ryan Nordahl here, Epic Whitetail Habitat LLC. Well, a lot of hunting seasons are starting to wind down across the country. Here in Wisconsin, it's kind of a county by county basis as far as closures of the season go down. Here on my home property where I live, which is in Trempealeau County, we ended this past Sunday. But then you go to Jackson County, the next county over, and literally like 400 yards from here, I can hunt until the 31st of January. But being that it's closed here in Trempealeau County and I'm on my home property, I'm out here scouting today. So I'm not worried about bumping deer off, anything like that. Now, yeah, they could run into Jackson County, but I don't think there's a lot of people out this time of year that are hunting over there, but yet I can't say that because I just simply don't know. We don't know what we don't know. But I'm not afraid to be out here. Now is the time that you want to be out and scout. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about 5 habitat chores that you can be doing in the month of January. And number 1, like I said, scouting. Now is a great time to get out on your property. If you're no longer hunting, or you're in an area, a state where the hunting season is over with, this is when sign is at its peak. You take a winter like this year, kind of a repeat of last year again so far. It's a lot colder so far this year, but it's a great time to get out, scout the sign. You know, rubs, scrapes are most visible this time of year. I mean, we're just months, a couple months removed from the peak rut activity, where they're laying down scrapes, laying down rubs like crazy. Not to say that deer still aren't doing it. I've seen a couple fresh rubs here lately. Deer run scrapes all the time. They don't necessarily do ground scraping, but they will hit licking branches, especially in those primary areas where, like inside corner of a field where a funnel comes together, or a bunch of trails come together in a funnel system, hitting a community scrape like that. But now is a great time to get out and look for that. Looking at browse, how, what is the carrying capacity of your property? Is it overbrowsed? Are your food plots not lasting until the following spring? A good food plot program is a program that you have green food source available all year long, be it, and it can be a variety of different food sources. It can be corn, sorghum, clovers. They will hit clovers on certain times of the winter, alfalfa, just a winter rye, but just a great variety of green food sources available to the deer. I understand it all goes back to the amount of land that you have and the carrying capacity of your property and everything, but browse is number 1. Browse and cover for deer are number 1, number 1 when it comes to any of this. Cover being the most important. So now is a great time to get out on your property and scout. And if you need a second set of eyes on your property, or you want to put together a whole new plan, boy, this honeysuckle's been rubbed like crazy right here. It's amazing the things that you find when you're out scouting, things that you did not see during hunting season. That's why it's so important to get out here now. Next spring, next summer, when I come out here, I might not see that. Here's a ground scrape underneath this buckthorn. Oh, buckthorn. It's the most devastating thing there is. It needs to be managed. There's no question about it, but it does have its benefits to deer. More benefit to deer than what we're being told by other managers out there. I just want to get that straight and across. But anyway, we're talking about 5 habitat chores that you can do here in the month of January. I know we're getting a little late here. It's the 7th of January. Probably when I release this, it might be the 8th, 9th, or 10th of January. But, you know, the second thing I want to move on to is I want to see, you know, what trees and stuff, you know, especially being here on a mostly open property, what trees, what shrubs that I can, you know, implement into this habitat program that I'm trying to implement here on my home property. And, you know, really now is the time to be ordering. My supplier, who I get my bare root stock from, he wants you to have your tree orders in the months of January and February. So the earlier you can get it done, the more, you know, a guy like my supplier is really going to appreciate that, you know. Supplies are limited this year again on certain varieties of trees and shrubs out there. And I'm gonna produce another video, one pertaining to the trees that I want on my property and that I'm going to be ordering, and another one, the shrubs that I'm going to be ordering and implementing into my habitat program here on my property. So be looking for those videos in the future. Number 3, I want to be going out, you know, if I'm not going to be taking down my stands for the remainder, you know, physically going out and taking them down, removing them from the property, I'm going to at least be going out, loosening up those trees. So when spring and summer roll around and those trees start to expand with new growth and everything, that tree's got room to grow. Straps, chains, what have you, aren't growing into the trunks of those trees at all. And you're less likely to have tears that you do not notice going into the following hunting season, climbing that tree because of the expansion of that tree. And I mean, as many of you may relate, some tree varieties like a silver maple, they can grow quite a bit in just one growing season, and we don't even realize it. And, you know, it can cause a lot of different things to happen to your stands. Like I said, straps to crack, to rip, welds to break on them. I want to be going out there at least loosening up those stands. Anything, you know, like bow hooks, bow holders, accessory hooks, whatnot. I want to at least be taking them out of the trees too, you know, so they don't grow into these trees. You take some of these box elder back in here behind me, some of the ash, they grow really fast as well. And I want to be getting my bow holders and my accessory hooks and everything out of those trees. Loosening up the stands, evaluating them, so we can go into next year with confidence if we're not taking them down. When it comes to ground blinds, you know, be it pop-up blinds, be it permanent box blinds, anything like that, we just want to be evaluating. Maybe, you know, there's a crack in the window, some hinges are rusted. You know, we want to take into consideration that, get them fixed here in the off season. Just great little projects that you can be doing here in the month of January just to keep busy. And, you know, I understand the time constraints. My kids, you know, they're involved in sports and whatnot too. I do coaching. I do wrestling coaching for my 8-year-old's wrestling team at his school. And yes, I am blessed enough to be able to be out here every day doing this stuff, but it's little things that you can do too when you have the time and make the time to do it. So that leads me to number 4, and that's working on, you know, some of my timber area bedding areas. And I'm at least, you know, today is a fairly cool day. I wouldn't want to be out hinge cutting, but I could be out getting some of those larger trees that I'm gonna flush cut, you know, take a face cut off and back cut and completely drop them. I can be out in the woods doing that, and we've done some of that. I was actually out earlier today and Working on cutting some popple. Popple, aspen, whatever you want to call them. I grew up calling aspen trees around here, I grew up calling them popple, so that's what I call them, and that's what most people around this neighborhood do call them, is popple trees. It could be, I could be citing the wrong term for that type of tree, but they're out of, a deer's reach, and there really isn't a market for those types of trees around here as far as lumber products, paper products, pulp products, whatever you want, whatever it is. There's really not a market for it, and what market there is very poor right now, especially in terms of dollar value. Yes, I understand every drop in the bucket counts. I get that analogy, but we're dropping those to promote new aspen regeneration. Deer just love new aspen shoots, and we did some here on the home property a couple years ago, if you were following me, and the regeneration that we've gotten off of that has been spectacular and really more than what we expected it to be, and it's doing really good. So now's a good time to at least get a start on your bedding areas. If you're doing any bedding area improvements within the timber stands on your property, at least getting those bigger trees down if it's too cold. If I'm doing any hinge cutting, I like it to be, anywhere from 35 degrees all the way up to about 35 degrees and higher, we're going to call it. That's when I'd like to be hinge cutting. Right now today it's about mid-20s, so we're just out dropping trees. We need to get a start on opening up the canopy. That way, when the temperature does allow, I can go to town hinge cutting trees. And that's what I recommend doing on my client properties, where we're going to be doing some hinge cutting too. Getting a jump start on those properties, going out, dropping those trees. And lastly, what I want to touch on, number 5, is just ordering new tools. We had a couple tools, especially one of my really good habitat hooks. Had the unfortunate incident of dropping a tree on it last year and snapping the head off, and then it tweaked everything. It was my extendable one, so it tweaked everything within there too, so there's really no fix to it because I wouldn't be able to use the extension the way it extends anymore either. So we're going to be, fortunately, I had my spare, which is not an extendable one, but it was better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. So, that's one thing we're going to be ordering now. Now's a great time to be thinking about new tools, new things that you're going to be, even the smallest of tools, my wedges, things like that for cutting, bag seeder, or, I really like my Huiman battery operated seeder. Now's a great time to be ordering them because a lot of companies right now are offering out of season sales discounts. We're just coming off of the holidays, so there's a lot of good deals out there right now, and it's better to order it now while you're thinking about it this time of year when you don't really need it, than get to the time of year when you need it and you don't have it. And it's amazing what peak habitat season, spring, summer, can have a limit on what's available. It really is, especially from like Amazon or, direct from the companies themselves. I'm not sponsored by Huiman, but I am an affiliate of Huiman Tools, so I gain a little bit of a commission. And any of the tools or products that you ever see me using in any of my videos, you can always find links in the description below. And hey guys, if you make a purchase off of some of the links in the descriptions of my videos, I really appreciate you, supporting my business in that way. I don't get much, depending on the amount of product that I sell, what the cost is, I get anywhere from 3 to 5, maybe 7 to 10% on a few things. But, guys, if you are purchasing off of my website, off of the links on these videos, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And hey, you know, that kind of concludes this video, and that's 5 tips that you could be doing, 5 habitat projects that you could be doing here in the month of January. But most of all, guys, stay safe with what you're doing out there. And most of all, just keep living the dream. That's what it's all about. Have fun, stay safe. Thank you very much. If you haven't, really appreciate you hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like and a share. And hey, leave a comment. And good luck to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Can't say it enough. Thank you.